Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with me.
Welcome to another edition of Oppose My Will podcast. I'm your host, Ramone. With me, my other host, my bro, Joe. What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Man, doing good, brother. Tired, but we here. How you feeling?
Man, same. Tired, but ready to talk a little bit of boxing. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
It's a
Yes,
bunch of
sir.
stuff going on, as you know. A lot of things going on. We got Fundora fight coming up. There's signings all over the place. Ryan Garcia, you know, got his fight coming up. And officially, they're saying that him and Devin Haney is signed. They just have to get through their respective opponents. So a lot is
Right.
going on. But today I really wanted to kind of jump in and hone in into women's boxing today. I want to talk about Alicia Baumgardner, the talented, beautiful Alicia Baumgartner has made a major move in her career with signing with Jake Paul's MVP
Most valuable
promotions.
promotions.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? Give me a breakdown. Um, I could go into it more, but I like to kind of just see what you're feeling about that and what's your thoughts on it.
I think it's dope for Alicia, to be honest with you,
Yeah,
because the way Jake Paul and how they operate with MVP is almost like, the bad boys in the boxing, what I'm saying, kind of radical, coming in new, doing their own thing.
hmm
He already got Amanda Serrano. Now you add Alicia Baumgartner to your roster. You've been kind of
yeah,
focusing on women boxing anyway. Like
yeah,
the fight that's coming up with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano 3
yeah,
on Netflix. That's going to be an all women's card. So I think this
yeah,
is going to be a nice spot for Alicia to join and to really flourish because she didn't really have the back end. Plus, coming off the suspension and everything else, I think this is going to be a good fit for her with somebody that can actually back her and
yeah,
want to see some good fights, man. So yeah, this is dope. I like this.
definitely. Let's talk a little bit about what this means for her career, and kind of moving forward, and what she seemingly wants to do with her career, right? So when she, so there was a couple of things I think that was transitional, right? So,
Mhm.
one, the Tony Harrison thing, with the trainer, how he just kind of became absent
Mhm.
um, from her corner. You know what I'm saying? So we can tell that um, there was some transition going. We don't really know exactly if it was a negative thing or they just kind of outgrew each other. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That wasn't really. I wasn't really searching for that kind of information either.
Right.
But when she fought her last fight versus Delphine Persoon, she had Ramon Matthews Jr. In her corner as her lead coach, which was a big difference um, from her last however many fights, having Tony Harrison as her trainer, right?
Right.
Living in Detroit, um, training in Detroit, training at that gym for those many fights. I feel like she's had some big transitions. I wouldn't even be surprised if she moved from Detroit. She didn't train in Detroit for her last fight either.
Right.
Um, so you got that transition, right? You have that change. Then you know a promotional change. Prior to that, I think she was independent her last fight or something like
I
that.
want to see
I'm
in the
not
last fight she
100%
was
sure.
independent. Hmm.
Yeah, she fought. It was a weird thing, man. It was she fought Delphine Persoon at the interactive crazy Lux Arena, whatever the hell you want to call
Was
it,
it like
in
Fayetteville,
Atlanta.
Georgia, or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, it's in Fayetteville. It says Atlanta, but it was like, outskirts, outside. And so that whole setup was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got a chance to watch the card. The promoter, the guy who ran the thing, he was doing like chants, and it was
Yeah,
people was wearing all black, kind of looked like a funeral. It was just weird. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing was weird, but that was a transition that was she was going through, and I know she was even then probably contemplating on the next move. So it's good to kind of see her finally plant her feet in this next chapter of her life over at MVP, which, by the way, MVP is turning out to be a very um, female forward boxing company where they want to see women, um, get the spotlight. A lot of
mm-hmm.
the times, what people don't understand with these Jake Paul fights too is that though he is fighting it and he gets what he gets out of it, a lot of it is just really to promote the promotional company for what's to come. His goal is not to be some long term fighter. It's to build up the company so much that once he steps away, those fighters can flourish. Look at um, Amanda Serrano. Currently, she is the most viewed female fighter. Her and Katie Taylor have the highest viewed female bout in boxing history. And I understand that there's some
That's right.
controversy when we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about that, but it was set up that way. Kudos to Jake Paul. Can't be really mad at him. People saying, "Oh, but they didn't headline the card." No, they didn't, but it wasn't designed that way. The way it happened was the way it's supposed to happen. And then also, Amanda Serrano, from my understanding, has gotten the biggest payday as a female fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a good move over there. I can keep going, man. I want to pause and give you a moment to interject or say anything that you feel.
Just caveating off of what you just said, where Amanda Serrano being one of the highest paid female fighters, especially being in that stable. That was
Yeah,
one of the things that she spoke on in one of the articles that I read after they signed Alicia Baumgardner was like she wants to help get other female fighters paid like how I've been paid.
yeah,
And for her to, saying, yo, let's go this direction. Like I said, that's huge. And I think the women deserve it, especially, Alycia. You got her, you got the GOAT Clarissa Shields out here. You got Tierra Brown, you got Jonas or whatever.
yeah,
Like you have a lot of talented female fighters, Fundora's sister or whatever,
yeah,
that
yeah.
they deserve that exposure. They deserve the payday.
Mhm.
So like what Jake Paul is doing right now
Mhm.
is actually pretty big because you don't see the pushes for female fighters like this coming from other promotional companies. So hopefully we start to see more of that. And then also too, with Alicia going to MVP, it kind of sets up the next big fight for her.
Yes.
Which in a couple weeks we will see Michaela Mayer going against Amanda Ryan again, for the
Yeah.
second bout. And that right there, we know how that fight between them two went last time.
Hmm.
And I know it's a lot of
Yeah.
people looking to see that rematch. You know what I mean?
I'm one
And
of them.
I know Michaela ready. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
right there could be the next big thing. But I know it's potentially spoke about that they expect to have her on the fight card for July 11th with
Yep.
Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. So
Absolutely. Also, that could be a major move for her based on the winner of Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That could be a mega fight for her. Because this third one is going to be the end. It should be the end. I don't even know if they really should have a third one, but there's a market for it, and there's an audience for it. Um, I'm gonna watch it, but I wouldn't pushing for it personally for
right.
a third fight. But again, this puts Alycia in position to possibly take the winner. Like you said, running back with Michaela Mayer, bigger looks, fight on DAZN, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just all in all, it's a good look for her. But what it does is it gives her the promotional backing where they can negotiate better for her.
Yes.
You know, they're making piles of money over it. They're making piles and piles of money over at MVP. And so cross promotional bouts um, would probably not be such a big problem over there for her. You know what I mean? Because again, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the other fights that she's probably going to be looking for is going to be with in another promotional company, not really necessarily with MVP outside of Amanda Serrano, right?
Right, right.
Katie Taylor, all them other ones are from a different promotional company. But now she has the power, she has the celebrity backing for it. It does a lot for her career.
And
Um,
it gives her more exposure too, because you can't forget
yeah,
MVP's deal is it with the zone, and I want to say
the zone.
is it Golden Boy in the zone or is just the zone?
No, the zone has
Yeah.
multiple deals. They have a Golden Boy. They have
Mm,
MVP. They have, of course, Matchroom. Naturally, they have
right. So that's going to
Ricky
give
Shape.
her the
Yeah,
exposure and put
yeah,
the new extra eyes on her
yeah.
now, which is going to
Also,
be
remember,
huge. Hmm.
remember, ESPN is supposed to be going over the zone. I mean, Top Rank is supposed to be
Top
going over
rank,
the
yeah.
zone. So
All those
I
fighters
think,
underneath that.
yeah,
Hmm.
all those fight that stable over there. So I think she is aligning herself correctly because they're looking at the future where everybody is kind of
Right.
congregating to, um, and where the fights are going to be. Right.
Hmm. Yes, honestly, could be
Changing. You know.
the best place for her when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
MVP is like new to the game, but with what they're doing,
Yeah.
nobody is currently doing right now for women's boxing.
No. And again, MVP has positioned themselves in a way that's completely different from your more traditional promotion companies
Right.
like a PBC or a Top Rank or whatever. You know, they put on humongous, crazy exhibition fights, matches. Um,
That
I've
brings
been
people.
to,
Hmm.
I've been to one, I've been to two, been to one, been to one of them so far, which was the other Paul brother versus Floyd, right in Miami. It was crazy,
Right.
and so they uniquely positioned themselves in that way, right? Whereas they did it, they had their circuses and all that different stuff, and now the eyes is on them. Every time an MVP promotion pops up, people has already got their eyes on there. Jake Paul doing some funny kind of, video commentary, whatever the case may be. Eyes are on it. So no matter
Hmm.
how people feel about him personally, it's like I don't know if you watch battle rap. I'm not sure if you're a battle rap fan,
Yeah, watch
but
it.
like Daylight. Daylight is a battle rapper for all my battle rap fans out there. He's one of the best battle rappers ever. But he spent a good chunk of his battle rap career doing antics. I think he whipped out his meat. He might have tried to take a poop on the ground, like just crazy, wild stuff, right? But he predicted how it was going to go. He was saying, like, at this point, I don't even have to rap. But as soon as my name come up, all eyes is on the name, right? All eyes is
Right,
on him.
right, right.
He's absolutely correct. So,
Mhm.
in a sense, MVP has kind of done that. They've had the big circus shows, the crazy exhibitions, and
Hmm.
everybody and their mama. They damn near broke Netflix. You
Yeah,
know what
they
I'm
did break Netflix
saying?
because
Not damn
how
near.
many
They did.
people
They
can?
did
Yeah,
break.
yeah. How many people was actually able to watch the fights clearly?
Right, right. So imagine Alicia Baumgardner or whomever, on the undercard of or even main eventing at a certain point
Hmm.
being built up on a Netflix or something crazy like that. It's
Right.
massive. So I think she made a good decision. I think it's a good decision. I don't know if it's a great long-term decision. I don't know if she should sign the next, you know, 10 fights with them or something like that. But I think a solid 3 to 4 fights will make her a megastar.
Yeah, because this
possibly.
this also gives MVP the option to really evolve. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like they're still in their, they covered a lot of ground being in their early stages with the exhibitions and stuff like that. And
yeah,
then, also too, they brought tons of new eyes and followers to the sport of boxing, whether it was exhibition or not, or whatever.
right,
So being in there, I think it's a win-win situation for both the promotional company and for her because they got the money to back her. This is probably gonna be the
right,
most money that she's ever made now. And then at the same time too, they know she want the fights and they know that they're going to need to set up the big fights to really keep them going, you know?
right.
And then also too, what I'm saying, Amanda Serrano's towards the end of her career or whatever. You need
Absolutely.
somebody else to lead and to kick it off. And if you're going to run it with women
Yeah,
outside of the other females, like who's the best one
yeah,
for them to grab?
right.
I think they got the right one. So
Yeah, she was a
shout
free
out to
agent.
Jake Paul. He got me looking at him
Right, Jake
different
Paul.
now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and before we wrap up, you brought it up earlier about the card supposedly being all female card, right?
Hmm.
So now we see Jake Paul taking a back seat, which was, from my understanding, seemingly his plan all along was to build this thing up and then finally fully just be promoter, not fighter, not full time fighter, career fighter, but to be promoter. So now we have the card coming up where it's all female. They did the numbers. The numbers are done. So now they know that the all female card can stand on its own too without um,
Hmm.
some kind of mega exhibition. And now he's pulling back. So I can see that being the case, if not from here on out, shortly from here on out, of him finally saying, okay, we laid the groundwork. I'm gonna pull out and just be promoter. We've done enough work to where our shows will sell, tickets will sell, butts and seats, pay-per-views, whatever. It'll do good on its own because now we got the stamp. No matter how they got
Right.
the stamp, but they got the stamp. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that's all I got for this one, JoJo. You got any other questions? Anything you want to say?
Nah, y'all, just stay tuned. We'll be back with y'all next week with some more boxing talk. Don't forget to go check us out. Check out our store at Rock Jones. That's ROCKJONES .bigcartel BIGCARTEL.com. Go get you a hoodie. Go get you a t-shirt. We're gonna have some more stuff coming. But yeah, man, just stay with us. We here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, next week we want to talk about a hometown hero, a hometown favorite that has a fight coming up. That's that's our guy, Rashad Evans. He's going to be fighting Rampage Jackson for the second time, many years later, but for the second time. So we'll be covering that, man. So stay tuned. Pose My World podcast, man. We up out of here.
Yes, sir.
Peace.